Here are 5 mountain truths that I learned after summiting my first 4,000-meter mountain. Alright, let's actually talk about it. Lesson number 1. The mountain doesn't break you, it shows you where you're soft. But what does that actually mean? First off, I flew from Cologne to Marrakesh and then checked into the cheap hotel. From there, cheap taxi, straight up to Imlil, and then got there, hiked up to base camp. Altitude was manageable, stamina was there, but my ankles, they were not. And that's when this lesson really hit me. The mountain doesn't humiliate you, doesn't scream in your face. How could you come this unprepared? It doesn't do that. But what it does is it quietly whispers into your ear, fix it, or you will see next time what happens with you. It will just say that. And then after you've repeatedly not fixed it, there's a price to pay. Luckily, I didn't pay it this time. So you know what that means. So this brings us to lesson number 2. For me, there was never a moment where I thought about, should I maybe turn around? Should I? There was never a moment like that. And coming from where I come from not being able to summit Similaun, this one mattered to me. It mattered so much. And when it matters so much, I have to pull through, and I have to push, and I have to get the summit. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. Did you summit or did you not? Even with weak ankles. All right. So now, lesson 3. The summit felt incredible. It truly did, but it wasn't the finish line. Let me explain. We hiked up at 3 a.m. from base camp to the summit, 4,167 meters. I stood there proud of myself. I did this, I spoke it into existence. From early December, I set out, I want to climb Mount Toubkal next year, and I did. I felt accomplished. And yet, even though I felt accomplished in this moment, getting this goal, the peak didn't give me any closure. It didn't end anything. It opened everything. What does this mean? Feeling this accomplishment, but also feeling uncontent because that can't be the end of it. Many would just be like, oh yeah, I did this 4,000 meter mountain and then I'm done with mountaineering now and it's just a phase. But for me, it lit a fucking fire. It made me hungry for more. That's why I always say K2 or especially Mount Manaslu, since I'm the Manaslu maniac, are my goals. I need to aim higher and I need to take the necessary steps for it. And also these reflections are very important for that as well. Number 4. Turns out doing it with others is better than solo. This goes for a lot of things, but it also goes to mountaineering, alright? This time around, I didn't go alone. You guys saw it in the vlogs, in the previous vlogs. If you didn't see them, check them out. I will have them linked in the description. This time I went with people I actually cared about as well. And also in a group. There was no ego. No race. Just shared silence. Or even shared laughter. Although it wasn't easy always, you know. Different people, different mindsets, different characters. It's always the same thing. There will be some friction. I really enjoyed it in the end. Although I will say, solo mountaineering might just still be my number 1, but I don't know. It's not the future. You know, solo mountaineering, you can't be a serious mountaineer and go solo. That's kind of tough to take, but hey, going with people isn't as bad as I thought at the end of the day. And you have to accept and welcome and let people in on this, you know, because I am a quite introverted person and I want things for myself, but it shouldn't be this way. You should share the things you love with other people that also love the same thing. Not just with anyone, but with people you can trust. You should let them in. So this brings us to the last and final reflection and lesson of myself, number 5, which ties into number 2. It's a personal revelation. On the mountain, I am a person that gets stuff done, that finishes the job to the best of his ability and doesn't cut corners. I admire the person almost that I am on the mountains, because here I am in the woods right now, not in the mountains, and I'm in my everyday life right now. And when I look at it, it's almost ironic how such of a big discrepancy is between my mountain self, if you can call it that, and my real self, or everyday self, right? It's sad, almost. It's sad, but it's almost beautiful in a way because it gives you hope. I'm sure one of you guys also has a thing. It might not be the mountains, it might be the gym, it might be your dancing class, it might be, I don't know, something that you're passionate about. You're drawing. When you draw the best stuff you ever drawn, and every time you get better. But when you go to uni, everything is stripped away and you just can't motivate yourself to do anything. At least with me in the mountains and uni as well, such a big discrepancy and such a big contrast between those two. Being in the mountains taught me that I can draw from that. I can, as David Goggins would say, look in the cookie jar. I did this. I accomplished this. I summited the 4,000 meter mountain. I was at 3,000 meters on the Zimilaun, at least, right? I didn't summit it, but it was at 3,000 meters. I did that solo, mind you. I summited my first Alpine summit as well, solo, back in October. I did that. I can draw from that. And when I am doing a hard math exercise, so to say, right, I can say, I summited a fucking 4,000 meter mountain and I can't get this done? Pathetic. That's really pathetic. And I have to think like that, Usually you shouldn't shame yourself like that, but you have to call it as it is. How do you do that? How do you get this passion? Look at the things you love and apply the same pressure to things you hate. To close this off, Toubkal didn't give me this big breakthrough, but it gave me something quieter, clarity, and presence. A reminder that I'm not done. I'm just getting started. And also, mountains don't give you answers, but if you listen closely enough, they ask the right questions, and it's on you to figure out the answer.